Hello guys, and welcome here to the first ever 7-Eleven IndyCar Series race here today on GCN, and it is from the St. Petersberg Street Course. Today we present to you the Firestone Indy Grand Prix to open up the season. Hello guys, I'm Brian James here in the booth with you, proud to bring you coverage of the first ever IndyCar race here on GCN. For those who are sitting here maybe thinking, hey, what happened to Carvana Wildcard? I'm sorry, this is the series that is replacing the Carvana Wildcard series. It was just time, and to be honest, I've always been fascinated with IndyCar, and I feel like I could do more with IndyCar than I could with Carvana Wildcard. So with that, welcome guys. Of course, before I tell you, how we're gonna, before we get going here, I just want to address real quick a few things. Of course, this being the first race of the season. Of course, this season will feature 18 races. We will have 9 road courses. This is one of them. And then, of course, we have 9 ovals. So, essentially, the field is split in half. We have 23 drivers that are going to be racing for the regular season title, the overall championship, and of course then we have we have 4 drivers that'll be racing for either the oval championship or the road course championship, 2 of them each for that title, and you'll get to meet those guys very soon. But of course, you notice that we are racing here on a Tuesday afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern. For the first week or two, we will be racing on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4 p.m. in order to not overlap with the Truck Lift National or Cup series that is still going on. And you may be asking, why did we start this season knowing that it would overlap? Because the plan is I want to start the Cup series. I want to start Season 2 of Lift and Trucks and Season 7 of Cup, so that way we can finish in time for the holiday season. So, because the plan is it's probably going to take 5 months to get through it. We've already taken about 6 to get through this season of Truck, Lift, and Cup. So that is why I'm doing it. So for the first week, of course, we have Tuesday, Thursday. Thursday will be at Walt Disney. Then next week we actually have a program change. It'll be Tuesday, March 9th at Circuit of the Americas, and then Wednesday, March 10th will be at Texas Motor Speedway. That is because the Truck Series will be racing at Gateway on March 11th, so we don't want to have 2 races in one day, especially on a weekday. But anyway, now our attention shifts to the race. Nick Martins is on the pole. I hope I pronounced that name correctly. Comment below if I didn't. Then to the outside when we get going will be Mohammed Zain Abdullah in the 7, and he is one of those guys that is running for the road course championship only. Daniel Guitaro will be behind the wheel at 7 on the ovals. The other guy that of course will be running for the road course championship is Eric Faden in the 27. You'll see him in a little bit. But without further delay, let's take a look. Now, unfortunately, I'm not going to be doing the graphic starting lineup on the left-hand side of your screen, other than at Indy and the big events, probably Laguna Seca as well, just for the sake of getting through the season. So, we'll be right back, but before we get going here, and we'll be back in about 10-15 seconds as we show you your starting lineup here from St. Pete. Here we go. We're getting ready to get going. The first road course on the schedule, the first race of the season. The pace car is going to peel off here. And Nick Martins and Mohammed Zain Abdullah, they're going to lead us down the long front straightaway. As the green flag will fly, the 7-Eleven IndyCar Series season is underway. How's about this start for the Arrow McLaren Schmidt Peterson car of Mohammed Zain Abdullah? He gets out to the lead early on, and you see right there, oh, the 12 is in the wall. That's Samet Ozkan. Anyway, here we go back to the stripe. It will be Mohammed Zain Abdullah that'll lead the opening lap here. And somehow we make it the first lap very cleanly. Keep in mind, it's IndyCar, it's a road course. Probably a lot of the passing will come on the pit lane. But we mentioned that Mohammed Zain Abdullah, he is only running the road courses this season, so he will not be in Thursday's race at Walt Disney. That's where his teammate and co-driver will take over, and that is Daniel Gittero. He will run on the ovals. Here's some bumping and banging back there, not custom for IndyCar. But the other driver who's going to be joining him and only battling on the road course championship side of things, it is that 27 of Eric Faden, who's driving for the Andretti Autosport Group. That team, of course, fielding 6 cars in the field, I believe. 26, 27, 28, and 29. So there's 4 cars. Then you got the 88 and the 98, of course, the Harding-Steinbrenner entry. So 6 cars for Andretti Autosport full-time in the series. Talk about big teams flexing some muscles, but here's a team, of course. Schmidt Peterson Motorsports, of course, if you missed last season of IndyCar, he merged with McLaren to form Arrow McLaren Schmidt Peterson. And of course, this team fielded, or will field this year, Felix Rosenquist and Patricio O'Ward in the actual IndyCar series. So, but for now, right at this moment, it is Mohammed Zain Abdullah driving for them on the 7-Eleven IndyCar side of things. And he's off to a hot start. His teammate in that number 5 is Joshua Osborne, who's new to the GCN side of things, so we want to welcome him to his first GCN series appearance. Joshua will pilot the number 5 all season long, so we can't wait to, we look forward to having him behind the wheel. Of course, Nick Martins, our pole sitter, also new to the GCN side of things, so we want to welcome him as well to our series. We hope you guys enjoy your time here. Same with Skylar Martins, who is driving for Dale Coyne Vassar Sullivan. I'm trying to scroll through, see who we missed that may be new to the series. Of course, we know Parker Smith is brand new as well to our series. We want to welcome him as well. He is driving for Ed Carpenter Racing. Richie Hiroshi is new, but of course he is one of Frodemar Ops guys. Daniel Bouchard driving for Dragon Speed. He is brand new to the series as well, so we want to welcome him. He has had some one-off opportunities. Of course, he drove in the truck race at Eldora, finished 2nd, and then he drove in the Lyft National Series at Indianapolis. So he is not a stranger to GCN Series, but he is in his first full campaign on the GCN side of things. So we want to welcome him as well, and welcome to all of our new drivers for this season. As I scroll on through, I don't believe there's anybody I missed that's brand new. Of course, welcome back to Steve Morgan as well, driving the Andretti car. And then another welcome back to a guy who has not been a part of our series in a little bit, James Qualls. He is driving for Dreyer and Reinbold Racing. So we want to welcome him back to our GCN series. Missed you, buddy. Hopefully all is well. You, and hopefully we'll see more of you in the future. Back up front, though, see Mohammed Zain Abdullah trying to put a little bit of a gap on these guys. Now keep in mind, unfortunately, because this is NR, and that's the way NR is, if and when we have pit stops, you won't see the IndyCar traditional style pit stops where they jack the car up from the rear and change all 4 tires at once. It'll kind of look like the NASCAR style pit stops. I apologize for that. If anybody knows a mod that can fix the pit stops, I'm 100% eyes and ears on that. See Mohammed Zain Abdullah trying to stretch his lead. He's got it to about 1.1 seconds. And again, a reminder, we go to Walt Disney after this. That'll be the second race of our campaign. And the first time open wheel racing has been at Walt Disney World since about the early 2000s. So you won't want to miss that race. That will be on Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern here. Then next Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, the IndyCar Series will go to Circuit of the Americas. That'll be our next race. Then on Wednesday, again, the next race will be on Wednesday. That will be at Texas Motor Speedway, the 1.5 mile oval. Then I believe we head to Barber in the Indianapolis Road Course for the GMR Indy Grand Prix. Those are the races coming up. Of course, we will be saying hello then in a few weeks to our one-off drivers that will be running in the will be attempting to make the Indianapolis 500. And a reminder for the Indianapolis 500 that only the points leader is going to be locked in. Of course, Mohammed Zain Abdullah can't be the points leader there because of the split schedule. But for someone like Nick Martins, getting off to a hot start here is crucial in his fight to be up top the points. Because again, if you lead the points at Indy, you don't have to worry about being bumped in the last 3 shootout. You see, though, Martins is closing. He's definitely got a long-run car. As we come to 10 laps of racing to go this time. He's trying to break off that draft. It doesn't quite work, but he's got the lead to almost a full second once again. How's about that? Flexing that Chevy power here. Of course, your top 5, you got an Arrow McLaren car, and then you got an Arrow McLaren Chevy. Then you've got a Ray Hall Letterman Lanigan Honda right behind. Then you've got a Team Penske Chevy. You got an Andretti Autosports Honda. And then you got an Ed Carpenter Chevrolet. So those are the cars up front here. And you see this 15 is closed. It's a battle for the lead. Nick Martins, Mohammed Zain Abdullah, they're side by side. And Nick Martins has had enough sitting behind. He's right there, but he doesn't want to get too close. He doesn't want to clip that 7 because, again, this is not a stock car. You get damage here, it's not going to help you later in the race. These cars are a lot less forgiving with the damage. And how's about a good run for the Foyt gang right now? Of course, we want to stay up front in case there are pit stops this time by. But the 4 of Nikolai Sykes running in the top 10, as well as the 14 of Dylan Young. But let's check in on Nikolai Sykes. It's his first full-time campaign since the Carvana Wildcard Series. And of course, running in 6th is a good run for them. Good look for them, especially with AJ Foyt. Then you've got the 14 of Dylan Young, who you may be looking at that paint scheme. There are 3 full-time AJ Foyt cars, and yes, K-Line Insulators is sponsoring the 14, much like it will the 41 for the full campaign. So they do have the same paint scheme. And of course, the 41 being piloted by Casey Naneko. And he's a little bit further back from his teammates, but he should be able to make up some ground sooner or later. Of course, we're trying to cover as many drivers as we can in this race because, mind you, that we don't have any practice sessions that are going to be televised until the Indy 500. And surprisingly, no pit stops yet on this 1.8 mile street course. And you see right there the lead is growing once again for Mohammed Zain Abdullah. And you got to be imagining he's sitting here saying, man, why couldn't I run the full season? But let's check in on one of our other drivers, and he's one of the guys that is running for the Cup Championship, so trying not to make this too much of a distraction for him. That's Zach Fitzwater in the number 60 for Meyer Shank Racing. He'll be running the full campaign there. So I'm sure he's looking forward, obviously, to some better results. Maybe the pit stops will help him out. But he's currently running in 18th. 2 spots behind him is that 48 of Austin Shaw, who's running with Carvana Chip Ganassi Racing in the 48. We were going to run Western New York Autosport with Austin Shaw and a few others, but unfortunately, I just didn't have the time to paint the cars. So Austin Shaw running for the Chip Ganassi group, and obviously hoping for some luck here when we make our pit stops, which is right now. And this will likely be the only stops of the race. How's about this? The 27 is going to stay out. A gutsy strategy, but Eric Vaden will stay out and try to lead the race. And mind you, he's only running for the Road Course Championship. Tyler Faden will be in the car on Thursday when we head to Walt Disney World. And of all the cars, Eric Vaden is the only one to stay out. Here we go. We should expect him to pit this time. But definitely the damage is done as far as that goes. The 7 had a bad stop. And I think that 27 is going to lose the race lead, because here comes the 15. So, gutsy strategy call for Eric Faden, and it won't quite pay off. but he will get a lap lead, so that's a good sign. But you see right there, the 15 is going to go right around Nick Martins to the race lead. And it's 5 laps of racing to go here in the first ever IndyCar race at St. Pete today. And look at how far Mohammed Zain Abdullah has dropped. Heartbreak for the road course only driver this season. Eric Faden, he drops to about mid-pack. Look at how far Nick Martins is ahead of Samet Ozkan. As we come to 4 laps of racing to go this time, and Samet's going to have to really go to work here, as will Nathan Faden in the 26. Parker Smith, he's up to 4th. Then you've got Ben Crouch in 5th, and a welcome back to Ben Crouch. Of course, he was let go by Joe Gibbs Racing over on the Jello Cup side, but he is picked up here on the IndyCar side by Chip Ganassi Racing. He also ran for Hattori Racing Enterprises in the Lyft National Series Indianapolis Road Course race. So you got to imagine he'll be one of the favorites because he ran up front in that race and he also started on pole. So a little bit of an advantage if you're Ben Crouch entering the GMR Indy Grand Prix in a few races. Dylan Young, he's running up in 6th. A good run for the AJ Foyt Racing machine. Then in 7th, you've got Trevor Collins, who is running that 3rd Team Penske car. He'll be running the Yellow Submarine all season. That'll be a beautiful paint scheme to watch. Scott Upton running up in the 8th spot with Harding Steinbrenner, or Andretti Harding Steinbrenner. He, of course, is one of the Cup Series contenders, and you will see him on Sunday when the Jello Cup Series goes to Watkins Glen. In 9th is Daniel Bouchard, a good first race for that Dragon Speed team. Just the run they needed. In 10th right now is Alexander Rowe, the former Cup champ, hoping to have some better luck here on the 7-Eleven IndyCar side this season. 11th is James Qualls, and you saw the battle for 12th. Zach Fitzwater looks to retain the position, but Eric Faden is battling with them. And keep in mind, Eric Faden's got a lap fresher tires. I don't know what kind of impact that will have. This is the corner it's very tough to run too wide in, but it looks like Eric Faden, not quite. But you see that Fitzwater is not giving it up very easy. Of course, we want to head back up front because we are going to be entering the closing laps here. But that's kind of through the field here. I hope I gave a lot of people some airtime. Up front, we missed a battle for 2nd, and Nathan Faden now in the 2nd spot with 2 laps of racing to go. But you got to feel for Mohammed Zain Abdullah. He was so close to getting a win, and the pit stop messed him up. But it's bound to happen. Running part-time in a series is not easy. And especially in the first race of the season, there's a lot of chemistry issues. And they will certainly have to resolve that. But it's not just the chemistry issues for the 7. It's going to be an issue all year that they just don't have the time to get acclimated with their teams. When you only run a handful of races in a season, it's very hard to get acclimated. So a tough break for Mohammed Zain Abdullah, and I'm sure he will look to do better next Tuesday when he returns at Circuit of the Americas. but Nick Martins. He's going to make it through the final corner and on to the front stretch. And how's about this? For the first time ever in the IndyCar Series season, we're going to declare this the white flag. 1 lap of racing to go, and it is presented by Mitchell's Memes. Yes, you've heard that right. We have now memed the 7-Eleven IndyCar Series. And Nick Martins just has to keep it clean here. See, Nathan Faden's put a gap on second place, or on third place, but he has got a long ways to close on that 15. As Nick Martins through the narrow part of the course. He's going to try not to hit the wall here. He won't. You don't want to pull a J.R. Hildebrand. And now to the high-speed portion of the track. And into the final hairpin coming up. Through the final S's to the final hairpin. Looks like he's going to be able to hang on. Nick Martins. Through the final corners and down the long straightaway. He is going to get he's going to win the first ever IndyCar race at St. Pete. Congratulations to Nick Martins. What a way to kick off the new IndyCar season, or the new IndyCar series and the new season. Not to mention his GCN debut. How's about that? Congratulations to Nick Martins. Nathan Faden, I know he's not happy finishing second, but it's a podium finish and valuable points right there on the first road course. But if you're Mohammed Zain Abdullah, you're likely not happy with where you're finishing, and that's a tough break for the Arrow McLaren team. How's about that? A clean first race here on the IndyCar side, and we're glad that it stayed that way. Anyway, we want to thank you for watching. We're going to show you your results in standings, and we will be back here for the 7-Eleven IndyCar Series race from Walt Disney World. That will come your way on Thursday. Until then, goodbye everyone.